baby, don't you even know? You're playing with the big boys now.
Reports now coming in from Stamford, Connecticut indicate a massive explosion in a residential neighborhood. The events leading to the explosion were witnessed by millions of TV viewers of the
just
new
over 12
Warrior.
hours ago now, and preliminary casualties are said to be over 600. In Washington, rumblings on whether superhero reform should be brought to the
Following last week's devastating explosion, Congress has rushed through passage of the Superhuman Registration Act. With the president expected to sign the act into law, concerns have been raised as to how the country's superheroes might react.
This is just completely insane, Hill. I won't do it.
I'm sorry, was it not clear I was giving you an order?
You're asking me to arrest people who risk their lives for this country every day.
No, I'm ordering you to obey the will of the American people, Captain. Either you help us bring them in, or we'll bring you in.
Weapons down, gentlemen. Or I...
Train guards, now!
Keep us moving, son, if you want to stay conscious.
You idiot. We're trying to save lives.
Of all the people to go underground, Captain America. Now every superhero who disagrees with the act suddenly has a leader. Maybe we should hold off until...
That won't be necessary, Mr. President. Registration can go forward as planned. We'll take care of Captain America.
Okay, so now you understand what you need to about the central conflict of the game. And just in case anyone wonders where my sympathies lie, I think that diving out of the aircraft carrying only a shield is made of awesome. All right, so here's how you actually end up choosing whether you're going to ally yourself with Iron Man or Captain America's side. This is the mission structure of the game. So it's one of several flowcharts in the presentation here for the engineers especially. You'll notice we have what you just saw happens just near the end of Act 1. The missions leading up to that have increased tension up to the point where the hearings that you see at the beginning of the movie are going on. We're going to branch based on your choice in Act 2, pro-registration and anti-registration. Actually, we're going to bring it back again in Act 3, and I'll describe what that's like. But basically, you can see that the branching part itself constitutes about a third of the game. And in fact, there's two missions that are in common, despite which branch you take. This one here, which basically you're fighting one of two characters who have essentially identical powers, and it constitutes only a single boss fight. And this one here, which is the one that sets up Act 3. Everything goes horribly awry with the people trying to enforce the Superhuman Registration Act. This is the map where you discover that. And so whichever side you're on happens the same way either side. And then here is the scene that we're going to be spending most of our time on. The scene where you actually determine your faction by your actions in the game. Now, given the setup to this conflict, why Act 3? It has a lot to do with the difference between a serial medium like comics and retail games. So it's worth talking about a little bit. The end of the Civil War storyline in the comics leaves an awful lot unresolved. And that's okay for them, because you know that the story is just going to continue next month. We felt the need to wrap things up. And in particular, being called Marvel Ultimate Alliance, we thought that maybe at the end of the game there should be an ultimate, I don't know, alliance. So this game is actually as much about reunification in Act 3 as it is about division in Act 2. So back to Act 2. This choice structure is, by definition, something that only interactive media can do. But I certainly wouldn't say that you should do it just because you can. And that's a key point. A momentous choice is just a pivotal moment in your game. By itself, it doesn't constitute an awful lot of your gameplay. So using one isn't primarily a gameplay decision. In our case, it was a narrative decision. For example, anyone who has played System Shock or Thief won't be too surprised to hear that I'm kind of partial to games that, instead of spending their development effort on one big, far-reaching choice, give the player lots of little choices relating not to the plot line of the game, but the player's problem-solving style. If you haven't played them, you'll get the same idea from BioShock and Fallout 3, so it's okay if you're young. But you simply can't tell the Civil War story without letting the player choose a side. There's just too many popular characters on either side, and too many strong opinions, certainly among our opinion leaders and comic fans, about which side is the right one and which side they want to play. It excited very strong and definite opinions in Marvel fans. And people want to express that opinion, and the branching storylines lets them do that. So a closer comparison might be this scene from Deus Ex, one that we did in fact reference when we were working on Marvel Alliance 2. Now, since I have in fact a small credit on Deus Ex, I need to clarify what that was about. It's special thanks. I only provided input. I didn't have a decision-making role, and I don't want to be seen as taking credit for their game. But a really interesting game it is, so I'm going to talk about it. In Deus Ex, you're given a mission at one point to kill this criminal conspirator, Juan Lebedev, who you see on the right. Only he messes up the plan by surrendering. At this point, you have to decide whether to obey what is now an illegal order, but is still your mission objective in the game. And besides, Lebedev claims to have information that would be of great interest to you, which is probably something you want since this is a conspiracy game and people are hiding things from you left and right, and he's one of the few people who wants to reveal things to you. On the other side, there's this character, Anna Navarre. She's your colleague. She's been your partner in-game on previous missions. She's also extremely bloodthirsty and generally unlikable. And it's very difficult to get out of this situation without killing either Lebedev or Navarre, your partner. It is possible, but you can walk through it. So you can see the similarity in Captain America's confrontation with Maria Hill, who was the commander from the movie that we saw. It's a very gameable situation. But before we even discussed Deus Ex as a point of reference, we were determined that we wanted to have the player choose sides by his own in-game action, not through some explicit user interface. So let's see how that plays out. This is going to be gameplay footage. You're going to see the point in the game where Maria Hill requires the player to register their secret identities and enroll in federal service. And you can do that or not. First, we're going to see the anti-registration path where you defy her, and then we're going to see the pro-registration path.
I'm glad to see you're willing to meet with me on civil terms. Once you register, I'm sure we'll have a productive relationship. The paperwork is right here. Step up and sign, please.
There's a confirmation option here.
The law is in effect. Your time is up. So, what's it going to be, heroes? Just sign up here and you'll be bona fide law enforcement agents. You're not looking to start trouble, are you?
Oh, let's. What would be a good way to do that? How about this guy?
One more stunt like that and there'll be hell to pay.